Hey, folks, welcome back to Hopped Up Beer Review. We are doing a Macro Monday today, and we're going to Belgium. Stella Artois from Leuven, Belgium.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. It is yet again everybody's favorite Monday. It's my favorite Monday. I know it's your favorite Monday. It's Macro Monday, where we take a macro and review that and give you our thoughts on it. Before we get there, be sure to like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell. Check out our links for social media in the description below. I've got Andy in the attic. I've got Jay. What are we drinking today, boys?
We are going to have Stella Artois from Belgium. So I'm thirsty. Let's get to drinking.
Yes.
This is the classic one that I think Ben keeps in his fridge for all of his guests.
This is in my fridge pretty much year round. Yes. As we'll get to, I guess maybe a little preview here. I think Stella is a very easy drinking beer for the cost, and so it usually stays in my fridge. I do not have the Stella Artois chalice though that Andy does. So
we
okay.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Yeah, this was a great gift one year. I can't remember if it was birthday, Father's Day, a long time ago. I got a bunch of different beer glasses from different breweries and all. I got a Chimay one. I got this one. I got some Stangs and Pilsners. So really cool.
Nice.
Of course, the Guinness pint.
Pint. I love the chalice. I mean, it's a great glass, great looking glass. It's got the little spot in the middle of the stem, right?
Yeah. So that's to hold on to this so you don't heat up. But the chalice was designed, shaped to capture the aroma and maintain the head as you pour it, and then to release the CO2 at the same time. So I did find that out.
Nice. What else do we know about Stella Artois?
We know a little bit more. So the Stella that we know today was first brewed in 1926. Now, the brewery in which it's made first started in 1366. So that's that over 600 years of, because it did not become Stella Artois, that brewery, until the 1700s, I believe. Where did I get that? So this beer is 1926. Of course, they brewed other beers before that. It was the head brewer at the time was Sebastian Artois, and he was the head brewer in 1708, purchased it in 1717. And then as a tribute to him, they named this beer. It was originally brewed as a Christmas beer in Leuven, the city in which the brewery is, and it was a hit. So they started to brew it year round. It's called Stella, is Latin for Star of Christmas, and Artois for the head brewer's name, who changed the brewery to his name. So it was originally the De Hoorn brewery. It was a tavern that brewed beer and sold it to hunters, back in starting in 1366.
What did De Hoorn stand for?
Did the horn? De Hoorn, Hoorn. It's probably somebody's name, maybe. I don't know.
So when they brewed this for the first time, at the Christmas time, do you have any idea? Was that
like a celebratory beer?
Or was
1926.
Okay. So when you watch the commercial that they show, it's almost like this was brewed more in the 1700s, right? I guess it's just a bit of marketing ploy there.
It's been the Stella Artois brewery since the 1700s. And Stella Artois is, as we know it, is since 1926.
I think that's another thing that's been very interesting. We kind of talked about it on another show, how some of the things that we have learned through this process of just doing the show, just, the three of us. One of them, I look at this and see, 1366 here. I've seen the Stella commercials where they talk about it being a Christmas beer. I'm thinking this stuff has been made. The recipe is more or less the same for the last 600 years, right? And that's, I guess that's just where the marketing comes in.
And sorry to ruin for you even more, it is now brewed in the United States, as is the ones we're drinking tonight. Yep. But it's under their strict guidelines.
Gotcha. Yep.
But as we know, Stella's owned by Anheuser-Busch InBev now. So.
Yeah, and so, and did we get any numbers on how many millions of?
Yeah, I did.
Barrels that they're doing.
I didn't write it down. I mean, it was enough to be a macro. Yeah. But you said numbers. Forgot to say this is 5.0%. Maybe. Yeah, I didn't look up the IBUs on this one. Not a lot, because it's not too bitter.
No, not at all. All right. Any other nerd out information here?
It's a Pilsner.
24 IBUs.
24. Okay. Yeah. Just a Pilsner.
All right. Well, let's rate it here on our Macro Monday. Jay, what do you think? Why don't you go first for us?
Sure. This is as you call it for yours. I mean, it's the standard Pilsner. It's one that I don't particularly reach for often. When I go to the beer store, I want things that are new and different. I tend to go to the shop and pick out one of everything that I want, and different, new, and exciting. But for a really good Pilsner, this is right there with the macro that I would expect. I give this a 7. It's easy drinking, light. It's one crushable if you want, but not something I'm going to go to every day. I'm more of a lager guy than a Pilsner guy.
Okay. Andy, what you think?
Just tastes like a basic macro Pilsner to me. After so many of these, if you could drink a lot of them over and over, everything's going to taste. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between this and like a Miller. So, I mean, I'd drink it again. But it just tastes like a mass-produced type of beer. I'll give it a 6.0.
Okay. So, yeah, I think, as I kind of mentioned before, I'm like Jay. I know Andy's the same way. We go to the store, we're looking for something we've never heard of, never had. We want to try something new. For me, that's definitely, I fit in that category as well. But I like to have something like a Stella in my fridge, because, you go and you drink a craft beer or two, and you just want something that's known after that. I kind of reach for something that's a lower ABV, because sometimes with the craft beers, you can end up with an 8 or a 9, and then it's good for, in my opinion, to grab something a little bit lower, a Stella. It's like a Tuesday night or something. So that's why I've always got Stella in my fridge. It's one that I'll have maybe a couple of crafts, and then I'll grab a Stella to kind of finish off the night. So I like it. I mean, but it is mass produced. I like it because it's easy drinking, it's crushable. But you know what you're getting when you go into it. It's not anything that's going to blow your socks off or anything like that. I used to get it a lot in New York. Everywhere it seemed like had it on draft. Definitely really good to get a Stella. It definitely knocks it up a point or so when you can catch it on draft. But all that to say, it's a 7 for me as well. I'll agree with Jay. It's not something that, if I am looking for the next thing, obviously this is not what I'm grabbing. But for a macro, I think it's decent. So.
Yeah, it's a filler beer. You want exactly. One more, but you don't want something that's very taste extreme. You want the middle of the road, still want a beer and want it to taste like generic beer, at least a beer. Yeah.
Yep.
I've got my filler beers and they kind of rotate.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely the filler beer for me. Like I said, kind of doesn't break the bank. It's not you're not going to buy a Bud Light or anything that lower quality. It kind of fits in that little kind of middle spot from a cost versus a taste perspective, in my opinion. All right, that will give us a 6.7 on this Macro Monday for Stella Artois, one that anybody in the world should be able to pick up just about. It is darn near everywhere. So I'm going to assume if you're watching the show, you've probably had a Stella at some point. Let us know what you think. Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Leave us some comments. Also, be sure to check us out on social media. Come join us on Discord. Say hey there, and check us out on our other social media accounts. For Andy in the attic and Jay on this Macro Monday, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.